नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल, केम छो, कैसे हैं आप सब? हाँ, बहुत टाइम हो गया है कि हम लोगों ने कुछ किया नहीं and we have not been in the oops, I said it. Yes, because there's a lot been happening in life, and after the COVID, people got busy because things opened up, and I got a little close because I was going through other things in life, which all of you know. And but somebody really inspired me to get back to this podcast, and we were talking on Messenger regularly. I didn't know that I would vibe so beautifully with her, and we just thought that okay, whatever we are talking, let's come on live and talk face to face. So let me bring on my spiritual sister, and that's Gauri Devi Riggan. How are you doing?
Pranam, namaskar. I'm doing wonderful. It's
Wonderful. You said you want to say a
6:30
mantra,
in
so
the
why don't you?
morning for me.
Yeah, I
6:30
know
in
we
the
want a
morning.
mantra from you.
Yes. Let's just close our eyes in prayer and ask that may we be the vessels, may we be the instruments, and may the divine spirit, God, Devi, whoever the God of your understanding is, may they channel through us so that we can really speak from our heart and we can be the change that we want to see in the world today. So I'm very blessed and honored to be here today with my soul sister, Alaknanda, and may we be guided on this unfiltered conversation. Uh-huh.
Jai Guru.
Jai
That's so
Guru.
lovely. That's a lovely start. The way, always asking for some good wishes and blessings of the divinity. But
Yes.
Gauri, because you're my second Gauri in my life. The first Gauri is Gauri Devakar, and now you're my second Gauri in my life. Tell me, Gauri, about the beginning of your life. And somewhere I feel that your avatar is very much connected to your mother.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know from the beginning of your life when you entered this world, who were you and how were you introduced to this universe?
Yeah, definitely. It all starts from the beginning, huh? So thank you for asking that question. I was born in Los Angeles, actually, where I am now. So it's a full circle journey. I'm back to where I was born. And I grew up in the Hare Krishna Hare Ram community. So my mother was chanting and praying and in meditation when I was in her womb. So when she was giving birth to me, she gave birth to me in a temple apartment in Los Angeles, and everyone was gathered and putting sound vibration and healing vibrations as I was coming into the world. So my beginning into this world was in this vibration of Indian mantras, of sacred mantra vibration. So I feel like that's an interesting beginning into this material world of like coming into such a sacred environment. And then I knew when I was very little that I was meant for dance. My mother said that I was making mudras when I was little, and my sleep, instead of sleeping like this, I was sleeping like this. And I just already knew when I was maybe like when I was 2, I was like, I know I'm going to devote myself to dance. Like this is definitely my purpose and why I'm here. And the community really cultivated that. I was in many plays and dramas, and I had many mentors. One woman here, Jagadambika, she would direct me and guide me. And so growing up in the Hare Krishna Hare Ram community, it was cultivated, it was encouraged. It wasn't like, okay, you be a doctor or you be a lawyer. It was like an artist is actually going to be the person who changes the world through the heart and through the mind. So for them, they knew that that was like something to cultivate and encourage. So the first time I came to India, I was 2 years old. And my mom, we went to Vrindavan because that would be our spiritual pilgrimage. Vrindavan has 5,000 temples of Lord Krishna, and that's who we worship. And so I came when I was 2 and my mom had an all-girls school. So that was my first kind of introduction to living in India. And we would go and come back from America to India, but for some reason I felt more at home in India than I did in America. I always feel it's interesting how I'm in this white fair body, but I feel so connected. My heart is so in alignment and connection with the Indian culture and the Indian lifestyle and dance and music and all of it. So sometimes I say मैं अंग्रेजी हूँ, but लेकिन मेरे दिल Indian है. So
Yeah, because the moment when I saw you in Delhi, and I was like, yeah, this is a very different lady. And I always felt that you have a spirit which is more Indian, you know. And
yeah,
then when I started watching you on the social media and everything and connected to the whole, sometimes I feel, is it the ISKCON effect that I saw in your mom and in you that really made things interesting for me. He said, I am an Indian, but I am not connected in that way spiritually. But
yeah,
somewhere I saw you as an American connected so much to India and the whole spiritual being.
yeah.
Tell me, how did Kathak happen to you?
It's very funny because in Los Angeles, like coming and going, I kind of like left ISKCON and found my own spiritual journey. So I have spiritual teachers all over the world, and I feel like ISKCON was my foundation, but this journey of life is for us individually. And so it's important to kind of find that spiritual calling on your own. So when I made that spiritual kind of like shift in my chapter, I called in this. It was a Bollywood movie actually being filmed in Los Angeles, and they were training the dancers in Kathak. And so it's called American Blend, and I'll send you the link after this. If you could see me in the back going da da da, my first taste of Kathak. But I studied Bharatanatyam for many years in Los Angeles, and so I had a taste of like this Indian dance form. And so as soon as my body and my heart found Kathak in this, I was like, I've been doing this in past lives. My body felt so connected with the pirouettes and with the freedom of the movement and the expression of the stories. And so I spoke with the teacher, and she's like, you should just go to India, because it's not the same if you study Kathak in America and have your American life versus living and embodying the dance form. The dance becomes your way of life when you make the shift and you take that leap of faith on yourself. So I made the decision. I was like, I'm gonna go to India. I literally sold my car the day I was leaving, took that money, and was able to survive off of that. Went and auditioned for Sriram Bharati Kalakendra, and that same day I auditioned, I got hit by a car in Delhi. So my ankle completely was shattered by this car in Delhi. And then I was out of dancing for 2 years. I had to do like arduous physiotherapy, yoga, meditation. And the doctors were like, you're not going to be able to dance again. Choose a different path. Like, this is too crucial of an accident. My whole ankle was completely crushed. So that was like the first kind of seed that was trying to be planted of someone taking away my dreams, and I wasn't allowing for it. So I removed that of coming into what I knew was my destiny, of someone else saying, this isn't going to be your journey, this isn't going to be your way. And I really went deep into my meditation practice. And I feel like that was my connection of how blessed we are to really live our passion. So that happened to me, to understand that, wow, this is such a gift to be able to live our dream and live our passion in this life. So after the physiotherapy, after going through all of that, so much mind strengthening. It was like I felt like I was like the samurai warrior, you know, because it's so much mental, as you know, when you're recovering from something. It's more the mind over the matter. And so then I went to Sri Bharatiya Kendra, Kala Kendra. My first guru was Shika Kare, then Kavita Thakurdi, and then I went to Jaipur Gharana and studied with Raju Guruji. Piyush Chauhan is another teacher of mine. And then I went to Kadam and started to study with Kumi Ben. And then my guru now, like my sister, is Sanjukta Di. So I feel like there's been so many guides and teachers in my practice because I've been yearning to find my own language with Kathak, you know? So I've called in all, there's so many masters in my form. And so now I guess it's been around 16 years that I've been practicing Kathak. And now it's more so because I love it versus like performing and sharing with others, but it's kind of like the love of my life. And I feel like that's so important of like when you find something that connects to your soul, go for it. Just swan dive in. Don't even think about how or where all of these things that come in the way. But like when I felt that connection with Kathak, I was like, this is my soul's connection in this lifetime. I'm going to do whatever it takes to connect with that and stay connected with that. So it's almost like the like divinity speaking to us, you know, when we find that. That's been my journey. And yeah, I'd love to ask you also a question of how you found Kathak. I'm very interested in that.
I'll tell you my story. Before that, we have our lovely friend Sangeeta Das Banerjee with us. And
Oh,
she
hi
says, "Hey,
Sangeeta.
gorgeous sisters. Hi, Sangeeta. So lovely." And Sangeeta, you can put up your question because I know you are a very inquisitive person and you like to question and get an answer for it. Definitely, we are ready to answer that. Gauri, what happened with me is that we believe in India that you don't choose the art chooses you.
Definitely.
And you are destined to a guru, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was supposed to become a singer because my father is a music director. So they wanted me to sing. My parents wanted me to sing. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to sing. I used to come back home crying. And
Mm-hmm.
one day, my parents took me to a show of Pandit Birju Maharaj, and I said, "This is what I want to do." I didn't know him; I was just 6 years old. So I said, "This is what I want to do." But at the age of 4, my mother had already put me into a dance school because I was a very naughty child and I wanted to dance seriously. And then Maharaji said that take her to Kathak Kendra, which has been a journey with Guru Reba Vidyarthi ji, Srimati Bharti Gupta, with then dancing with Maharaji's choreographies at the age of 10, and then finding my Guru, Guru Munna Shukla ji, which my mom found for me. So Kathak has been a journey, but I feel that I've gone through a transition with age. I started very young teaching at the age of 16, but I really enjoy teaching. And I always feel when you're teaching, you are increasing the span of the dance style. Like I am going to turn 50. So say another 20 years I'll dance, maybe. So I have a 20 years. But if I'm teaching a 20-year-old child, that means if the average age is of 70, that child will take that dance for another 50 years. And if I'm teaching a child of 10 years, then the dance age becomes 60 years. So, what I love, I'm giving it an age. You know, I'm extending the history of or the future of the dance style. I feel my dance is going to be alive through somebody else, and that's great. And but in the process, when I was dancing in 20, I was dancing the lessons that the gurus taught me. But at 40, I found my own voice. I said, no, this is not what I want to do. This is not the only tukras, the highs that I want to do. I want to give a message, because Kathak is all about Kathavachan, right? And we do not, nowadays, it's only about Tukras and Tihais. What message are we giving? Katha kahe so Kathak kehlave. Where is it gone? And we are educated mind, we are educated people. So I started my own voice through Kathak, that was talking about freedom of women, the thought process of an educated woman. What do we want? Now I think about Krishna in everybody. I don't think about Krishna in a temple, just in a temple. I see Krishna in you, I see Radha in you. So why do people not see God in other human beings? I would like to project that. I would like to get into the medium of spiritualism through dance. Dance is meditation in motion. So my whole idea of Kathak and dancing has changed with age and with my thought process. It's been a very progressive journey, I must say.
Mhm. That's so beautiful the way you just described that, because it's like Kathak is Katha. It's the storytelling. So if we can't tell our own story, how can we tell any story? You know? It's really, really it's a very beautiful, liberating feeling when you can come to that in your classical form of saying, I want this to be my offering, my language, my understanding. Now you've had so much wisdom of the gurus, and now it's for you to carry on your light. It's yeah, it's powerful. And there's so much that we want to share from our own hearts, like what you're saying. I don't feel like Krishna needs to be only depicted like this, like
Yes,
he's there in the heart, like you're saying.
yes. I told all my dancers that I had the Krishna combination of Odissi and Kathak, Bharatanatyam and Kathak, Chow and Kathak in its own way. I told all my boys dancers that don't wear Krishna, costumes. I don't want it. I don't want a feather, peacock feather on your head or a basuri in your hand. No, just
Yeah.
be normal. And that's why
Yeah.
vodka barking, my pug barking behind me. So, and that's my son will open the door. So that's very important to bring in your thought process to your dance. I also, hi Vibhaji, so nice that you are here. Lovely that you all are joining in. Thank you so much. That's a very nice friend, Vibha Kapoor ji. Lovely.
Hi. Thank you for being here.
She was there with ICCR, but our journey continues. It's not just
Yeah,
work related, it's friendship related.
of
So that's
course.
more beautiful. Tell me about your Natya Nectar. Now, that's something very different, you
Yeah.
know. I think somewhere in the beginning when I was watching you, to be very honest and to be very frank, because we have called this unfiltered, I
Yeah.
was like, what is she doing? And people were also asking, hey, what is she doing?
Uh-huh.
Why is she flying on the sky? Why is she swinging on this? And slowly, slowly, you developed your own company and your own language of speaking through
Yeah.
dance, you know. And how did that happen? And how was the journey like? Was it too tough? Or do you think you were quite easy into forming that language of dance of your own self?
I think it's interesting because it's coming to what you were just saying, was when you reached 40, you needed to find your own language. And I felt like for me, as a foreigner being in India, like it was really tough for me to study Indian classical dance. The girls were not nice to me. I was definitely like on the side. I was definitely judged. I felt like, okay, I didn't really make any friends because there's this constant separation of you're white, you're different, you're trying to do something that is ours. It was a really big like that was kind of like this huge gap. And so then year after year, slowly people were like, okay, she's serious. She's not just coming to like, you know, for a workshop. She's here. She's here. So then slowly, people started to be nicer to me, but I definitely felt like it was really challenging for me to like make friends. And so then I was like, why am I trying to fit in? I don't fit in. I'm not ever probably going to fit in. So why don't I just put all that energy inside and go inside and figure out, okay, I have this really beautiful quote on my arm that says, "Oh Lord, I'm just like a puppet in your hands. If you've brought me here to dance, then make me dance as you like." And so I really went into that prayer of like, okay, what am I here to share? And I grew up with the Mahabharata. I grew up with the Bhagavad Gita, with the Ramayana. Like these were all my bedtime stories. And I was like, what I really want to do is so much larger than just me as a Kathak dancer. You know, wow, look at your form. And Kathak is a very showman, you know, da 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 da, clapping. And so I felt like I could get lost a little bit in my ego in that of like, look at this, look at what I'm doing. And so I went really internal, and my my environment actually pushed me, the challenge of my environment and not making many friends, and that environment pushed me to go deeper into myself, into my offering of my heart, because my ego was already like boop, like completely crushed over of like, okay, go inside. And so when I graduated Sri Bharati Kala Kendra, I moved to this servants quarters. I was living in a servants quarters in GK1 because I had no money. So literally, it was like a sliver of a bed and a toilet that was in the ground. That was it. I didn't have a kitchen. I didn't have anything. And I was like, I'm going to find myself. I'm going to find myself in what I know now. Now I feel I had 4 years of training, which is nothing in Kathak. I know that, but I felt like I had something to work with, some foundation. And I was like, now I need to find what it is I'm here to do while I'm continuously training in Kathak, because I know in order to call yourself a Kathak dancer is like minimum 10 to 12 years. So I'm like, I need to continue this and simultaneously find my purpose. So I was living in this tiny little servants' quarters in GK1, but I was like, hey, I'm in GK1. I'm in a nice neighborhood in my little servants' quarters. And I started to go around the market, and I found some people that were just so sweet. It's such a the beautiful thing about the Indian culture is that everyone is bhaiya and didi and uncle and auntie. And when I just trusted that I'm going to be taken care of, everyone would start giving me food. I would go, like the auntie next to me would bring me tiffin. You know, everyone was just really, really encouraging me once I started to talk about what I'm here to do. You know, I'm here to pursue my dream. I don't know how it's going to happen, but, and then you just see like the universe just gives back to you. So I was very, very much protected, even though materially I had nothing at that time. So then I started to model and like take pictures of me dancing, and so that's how it started to. I started to get some money coming in, and then I started to go to this GK2 park, and I was like, this is my studio, because I don't have enough money to get a dance studio with mirrors and the whole nine. So I'm gonna just start creating here. And there was another person, actually Piyush Chauhan's brother, Shivam Chauhan, who is from the Kendra. We met at the Kendra, and he was actually on the sidelines too. People weren't very nice to him either. So we kind of like saw each other in that, and we were like, well, let's be each other's friends. And so we went to the park and we started to do acro yoga. We would just watch these videos on YouTube, and I would fall and fumble and everything. And I just started to learn what acrobats are, because I knew that I wanted to find my own language. I wanted to create my vision was to create the Cirque du Soleil of India with the stories of India, with the Mahabharata, with the Ramayana. And that's still my vision. That's still my dream. That's the seed that I planted under that tree in that park, was to create the Cirque du Soleil of India. And I actually put a prayer and covered it with the dirt and put it into Mother Earth, that this is my prayer. So every day, rain or shine, we would show up. We would have blisters, bruises, everything. We were like, this is what we're going to do. And then slowly, more people started to come. More people started to come. Then we brought in the silk. We'd climb the tree, rig the silk, go in the aerial, do the aerial. We'd do the aerial blindfolded so we could feel just the movement and the feeling. And then I was like, okay, this is interesting. This is taking form. There's acro yoga. There's the silk. And then Kathak and Chow and Bharatanatyam and all of these things. So my vision was like, wow, get the audience's attention with the circus. And then the heart is going to be of the classical, of that bhav, of that transcendental experience that comes with the classical art. Because I found a lot of the times in India, unfortunately, the audiences didn't really care about the classical. When we came on with the circus, oh, wow, great, like that. But once we had them with the flips and all of those things and all of that, like, it was almost like the curtain unveiling to the message, which was the classical that was coming out. And so then I created the style of a circus and Indian classical. And those were like the two pillars of Natya and Nectar. And so that felt like, wow, this feels very authentic to who I am. You know, I found my language with everything coming together.
So wonderfully said, Gauri, because even circus is a dying art form.
Yeah.
It's becoming less and less and less, and you are reviving it through your work and through your performances, through your training and everything. And I here see Sangeeta has written, beauty of any art is just about taking legacies forward, but also the reflection of the present times. And as artists, those who are able to do that, they are blessed. You both are two such blessed ones. So
She's
nice.
so
Thank
sweet. Really love her. Oh,
so
thank
really love
you.
her. And she sent love to Natya Nectar, and how beautiful and how inspirational she writes. That's so nice, so
Oh, that's
Sangeeta.
so
Lovely.
nice. Isn't
Thank
it
you, Sangeeta.
interesting how we're all connected, not unknowingly, like the magnetized of our souls
Yes.
together? Like you're also close with her. This is so, I love that.
Yeah, and I just met her today morning only. So there's this love that I have from her, which is very very rare in our fraternity,
Mm-hmm.
because usually people are there if they really think that, okay, will it be professionally helping me out in connection.
Yeah, yeah,
And life is not about connections. I think life is
yeah.
all about love and of the journey, not even about a destination. It's all about a journey that we take.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me, Gauri, because over here we are so much, into that one guru, a guru, and everything. But you have learned from so many of the gurus and dancers. Whom do you think is your soul mate as a guru?
Well, I feel like for me, each guru has had such a huge impact on me as a person, because obviously as a when we devote ourselves from our heart center to somebody, it's not only about the movement, it's about
Yeah.
the feeling behind the movement.
Hmm.
But when I read Kumi Ben's book, I actually wrote her a handwritten letter saying that because she's such a visionary in so many ways, like she took off the dupatta, she didn't have all of this, she really,
Jewelries and
all the jewelry, all the, the makeup and everything. She was very about like being this being, the form. Let the form speak for itself. And when I read her book, when I was like graduating, when I was like taking the next journey, I feel like as a visionary and as like a soul connection, I feel very, very inspired by her and her journey as an artist, as a woman as well in the industry, because I think that that's a huge one. There's many male gurus, and it's constantly the woman worshiping again a male, again the masculine energy.
Yes.
But the
Yes.
fact that she's this powerful woman, that is this visionary and so strong, and what her message is, I think that that's a big one, because you said that about like, we thought that what you were doing was so, what is she doing, why is she flying? And I think a lot of people who are visionaries get that. And I feel like
Yes.
Kumi Ben went through so much of like, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? But the perseverance and the trust of that, of breaking through that, was like something that really connected me to her. And I really loved my journey at Kadam, you know, like it felt like the old kind of Gurukul style, you know, of a way of training. So she definitely inspires me. And Sanjukta today, you know, Sanjukta for me is like such a beacon of this next generation, holding this torch, you know, like she's just like this like Devi that is shining so bright, and that is such an inspiration for this next generation. So it shows the you know, the parampara. She's like exactly like Kumi Ben's like the parampara. You see it being, you see the guru living in their disciples. And so I feel like Sanjukta is like this powerhouse that is the voice of this next generation, and is going to carry the classical arts through this whole social media, TikTok, and all this culture. She's going to hold it so that it remains rooted, you know. So she also inspires me, and you also really inspired me. I remember when I met you, when you did the workshop with Maharajji, because I was studying with Kavita Didi at that time, and I came to your institution, and I remember even then you had such a big impact on me, because you really know how to facilitate space, and you really know um, how to impart the knowledge on the next generation. I remember your students being so respectful towards you, and so they were so respectful and so quiet when you'd speak. Everyone was around, and like you could hear a pin drop when you speak. You have this power to like command the energy and the presence. And I remember even then the impact that you had on me. And that was like, I don't even remember how long ago, maybe another lifetime ago for us. But I was like, you know, I was definitely really inspired by you, your academy, what you're doing. I knew that you were like this person that was operating from like a heart, and also so much Shakti power. So you also had an impact with me unknowingly of like planting that, you know, embodiment of this Devi, this like powerhouse that was like, that was doing it. You know, you had your own thing going on. You weren't a part of this other institution. You were like, I'm doing my own thing. I'm calling Maharashtra to my academy. I'm doing it. And that made a big impact on me of like, wow, it's possible to do that, you know?
Yeah, I remember you being there, and it was a blessing that Maharaji came with for the workshop. And the best thing is that he was so much over there. At it used to be 10 o'clock, 10:30 at night, and he didn't want to, leave the institute. And he went on teaching and teaching, and all of you used to be there. Then I used to see that everybody should go back safely, make car arrangements, and he told me that there's some blessing in that place, and I feel that that place has the blessing of my spiritual guru. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a place which has been toiled by my parents. And So it has that kind of sweat and energy and that hard work thing and a devotion and a dedication, you know.
Mhm.
And Maharaj ji told me, he said, इस जगह पे कुछ है, इस जगह पे कुछ है. I don't feel like going back. And it was hot summers. We did not have air cons, AC. It was just a cooler for him. And it was definitely a blessing. And I feel very blessed that, gurus have come and blessed the center. And I'm a workaholic. So I really don't didn't understand what else to do with life except for dancing. But thank you so much for your lovely, kind words, and that inspires me to work more. And also that now when we connected during Sanjukta's wedding, it was like boom.
Mhm.
you know we were there with each other, and we were talking, and you were telling me. And definitely Sanjukta also has a very beautiful connection that I have with her. And when I had called her on the oops, so many people said, oh, she doesn't speak, she's very quiet. And she spoke for 90 minutes and said her side of story. And also at that time also I had told her, Sanjika, this will happen to you, this will happen to you, believe me, this will happen to you. So no, Alaknanda, I think I've lost it. I said, no, you have not lost it. Just put your hand forward when somebody is coming. And those things have happened with her, and I'm so happy. you know like it's a power of manifesting.
Mhm.
It is so important.
Mhm.
You should manifest for yourself, you should manifest for others whom you love. And always those powers come. And meeting you at her wedding, oh, it was like, meeting a soul sister. And the way we talk, how's your 5 o'clock a.m. waking up going on, Gauri? Tell me that.
I feel that too. And, I've kind of made the thing because I feel like you and I are both similar of like we can hang out with anyone. But now for
Yes.
me, I'm just witnessing what's the natural connection, where I don't feel like I need to try or I need to like, put more energy into it. But like when I met you, it was instantly like,
Yeah.
like little girls like giggling and laughing, and we were just like playful, and it just felt like I was meeting like a sister, like a family member. So I definitely feel it was like a divine timing of that connection too. I'd
Yes.
love to bring a little bit of light on you and ask you because you said your family wanted you to be a singer. So when you made the decision to be a dancer, was that something that was problematic for your family? Like, tell me a little bit about your choice to become a professional dancer and then how that was on your career and on your journey, because I know a lot of women that I work with in India, there's like this timeline of like, okay, you can be a dancer for a certain amount of time, but then you need to be married, and then you have like your whole life already kind of chalked out for you. So can you
Yes.
shine a little bit of light on that of like actually making the
Definitely.
decision? And I think that would be something really powerful to talk into.
Yes, I will definitely talk about that side of my journey. And before I read what Sangeeta has written, when we talk about the Guru Shishya Parampara, the whole gurus have how can the students grow on their own path, keeping the guru's legacy alive. I think, Sangeeta, the impact of the gurus are so strong that subconsciously or consciously, we as students take forward the legacy, whether we like it or we don't like
Mm-hmm.
it. It has been so deeply inseeded in our soul and in our style and in our thought, in our art and craft, that we cannot forego it. And it's about hanging on to your roots. So what do you say, Gauri, to that?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I'm getting to a place in life where I don't feel to worship somebody, because I feel we're all the same. But when you can, from a place, be like, this person knows more than me, and place yourself in the humble position, there's so much that, we're basically always a student of life. And I feel like the
Yes.
gurus really instill that in us, and they keep us in that place of staying humble and constantly learning. And that for me can be in the body of a child, in the body of a stranger on the street, because I feel like even my post in Guru Purnima was about my mother and my sister. My Our family can also be our gurus. So I think this, at least for me, I can only speak for myself, this thing of like this guru on this raised platform and I'm beneath them like that, I feel more now in alignment that our guru is there to shine the light within ourselves, to find our own wisdom and the guidance along the way, to like kind of remember our potency ourselves. So like these masters come into our lives to shine light and remember that, wow, the divinity lives within us. The Paramatma is here within our heart. So
Yes.
I think along the way where we don't know and we're being guided, and then it's like the guru's also there to free us, so that we can, like Alaknanda was saying, that she found her own language. And I feel like that's the message that the guru is there to impart, is like, I'm here with you, I'm here with you, and then you have your wings and then you fly into your own journey where you are finding the answers within.
Absolutely. So, Gauri, what happened with my life is like my family was very much for dance. So once
Mm-hmm.
when it was decided that it was dance for me, my parents put in the best for me, whether it's finding the best institution, the best of the gurus, to do the first photography session. I remember it was a huge money, but my parents spent for my photo session with Avinash Pasricha ji,
Mm-hmm.
the best photographer. To do that kind of investment in a girl child, especially in India, people think it's crazy. It's mad. They told my parents, "What are you doing? What the heck? You should keep it for her dowry. Why are you spending this money on her dance, which will not take her anyway? She won't find a man to marry, and who will marry her?" But my parents were very strong, and they said, "No, she's married to dance. It is dance for her. If she's chosen that, it's dance for her." But I had major problem from the society, from my school. I do not understand, Gauri, how can educated teachers look down upon our own Indian culture? How educated teachers who have the degree can say that artists will be paupers, your daughter is insane. I was in a depression. What you see me now, I'm a volcano. But at that time, that volcano was inside. The whole lava was burning. That like, how can, and I've seen the bad side of the teaching fraternity. Sorry to say that. The worst side. I couldn't find friends. And I was only in depression. The only thing that kept me sane was dance, and it made me more stronger. But when people say, "Oh, you should think that made you stronger, you should forgive them," I'm sorry, I cannot forgive them. I know it is still a fire in me and a pain. But when a child is there, the child is helpless, is voiceless. You do not have the power to fight with a teacher or say, "No, I'm going to do this, I'm going to prove this." It's somewhere seated inside. So I had a major problem from the society, and my parents were rock solid, standing by my side. "You want to do this? You do this, but you got to be the best. You got to prove. So every time the society gave me a push, I was like, okay, I'll show it to you. I'll show it to you. And today I sit on a very comfortable throne of my own. Nobody has given me that throne. I have made my own throne and I sit like a queen of dance. I sit like a queen of life. Dance is just one color of my life. And people want to box you, classical dancer, wear a sari, behave like this. You are body shamed if you're heavy. I'm fat. Are you looking at my weight or are you looking at my dance? They thought I have cancer, I'm bald, I won't be dancing. I did that also. I like to break chains. You stop me, I will do it. I'll show you that it can be done. If you like it, okay. If you don't like it, दो द्वार पीछे है दो द्वार आगे है निकल जाओ. I've not glued you to the seat. There must be something good in what you're watching. That's why you're sitting and watching. So somewhere that rebel was against the society, against what how they treat the woman in India. We are worshipped, but we are not respected at home.
That's so powerful. It's
We are
really
worshipped,
unfortunate. It's very
but we are
unfortunate.
rich. We are worshipped, but we are used like an unpaid servant. Respect women. Teach your sons. We don't have to educate the girls. The girls are powerful. They're already educated here, not by just degree. Educate the boys.
Mm-hmm.
It's very important.
How was it being such a strong, independent woman as yourself? How is it when it was time for you to get married? How is that
It was
being
difficult. I
in
had
a
to,
marriage with an Indian man, being such a
yeah.
fiery, independent, clear and focused woman? I don't see you being in the kitchen making rotis. Like you know what I mean? So how does that work in that in the marriage institution and that
Yeah,
dynamic?
I did go little wrong over there, or I believe it was destined. It was a marriage, arranged marriage. Uh, but you are so much seeded in the society and those values that this is the way the life should be. You should be married. You should work on a family, make those rotis, and I still cook. I love cooking because that
Mm-hmm.
is all about rasa. You
Mm-hmm.
see, the dance has a rasa, the cooking has a rasa. My Guruji always said, a good dancer will be a good cook because it's about the ras. So I loved that phase. But when I realized that I'm not getting the respect, and as I always say, that in India, physical abuse is called abuse, but mental abuse, psychological abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse is not called an abuse. And that is the most concerning part. And when you take any kind of such abuse and your sons are watching, that means you're teaching your sons, okay, men are supposed to behave like this.
Mm-hmm.
They will do the same to their girlfriend or to their wife. So they have to get the lesson from home. And when you're tolerating and your daughters or your students are seeing this, then you're teaching the girls that this is how things will happen and you're supposed to tolerate it. So I decided not to.
Mm-hmm. That
And
must have been really difficult for you, because I know that it's interesting in India, like the timing of, I was also in an abusive relationship, but my programming is stick with it, even if you're unhappy, stick with it. So like the programming of all these years of people, I've been married for 40 years. I'm like, but you don't even hold each other's hands, you don't even look at each other. Is that really a celebration, or is that just like, are you doing that for the reputation? So for you to be so courageous and to say, no, this isn't working, I would like to really honor you, because that's a really challenging thing to do in your culture. You know, it's very challenging. Is there something there that you could speak to women on, that how the tools to do that?
I think in my case, my sons are very instrumental, and my disciples, few disciples, are very instrumental in making me think that, am I really happy? Isn't that enough? But yes, I for every woman, I would say, please get your education right, first of all. Please
Mm-hmm.
get educated. Secondly, get yourself financially independent. You need to have a economic independence. Thirdly, learn to say no. I will not tolerate this.
Mm-hmm.
Fourthly, I would say, have the confidence of walking out. You know, the Almighty makes the way for you.
Yeah.
You know, खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे बता तेरी रजा क्या है. You always find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. And start respecting yourself.
Mm.
We don't respect ourselves. We don't love ourselves. We make ourselves the last priority. Whole society, what the society will say, what will happen. No, first you should be happy. You can only share what you have. If you are happy, you can share happiness. If you are pained, you can never make anybody else happy.
Mm-hmm.
So learn to be happy yourself and learn to love yourself first.
I feel like that's the same muscle that you're strengthening when you choose to be an artist, because like what you're saying, it's like the society. It's funny in India when you say that, oh, I'm a dancer or I'm this, oh yeah, but what do you really do? I'm like, it's considered like this
How do you get your bread and
hobby.
butter?
Yeah, it's your hobby, but what do you really do? So it's like what you're saying, am I going to live my life for society, making everyone else happy, keeping myself on the back burner? As women, we're so programmed to take care of everyone else that we were last. So now it's like, how can we use that muscle that you practiced in standing up for yourself and place that into our art as artists, as living our life as artists? Because everyone in society will tell us, you're crazy. How many times have I been told I'm crazy? You're crazy, you're insane, how could you do this? And it's like if your dreams don't scare you, then they're not big enough. That's always the motto I live by, you know? And so it's going to be scary to make these decisions. It was probably scary for you, but you did it and you trusted, and your guru, your sons were there. You'll see that when you make these decisions in life like that, somehow your support is there. People will actually come out, and
Oh,
it's
yes.
surprising who comes to help you at times like that. And that's
Yes.
that's I feel like a message that, oh, okay, I'm walking my truth, you know? When your sons are there, your students are coming, you know, people are coming, and you know that, oh wow, I'm never alone in these scary life choices. And it can feel very scary to make that decision to be a full-time artist. I know a lot of the girls that I was training and that have been working with me are like, we only have this short amount of time, then we have to get married, and then a lot of the times their husband don't want them performing because they feel like they don't want other men lusting after them on stage. And then the male performers are so stressed out because the family wants them to be earning quickly, so they have to, like, okay, I have to be excellent at this, and I'm just like, it feels like there's no time to kind of like enjoy the process of the training, because people have so much family pressure of the women. You need to get this is just for building your resume for your marriage, and then the
Yes.
boys need to quickly start making money. So I'm wondering, I'm wondering what's the solution for that of this next generation. I mean, it's almost like speaking to the parents, you know, of like, stop putting that pressure on them, because it's not healthy for them to be embarking on their journey with so much pressure from the beginning.
Yeah, I agree with you, Gauri. And Sangeeta says crazy is good because she's as crazy as us. Yeah, I agree with you so much, Gauri, because the parents over here, I feel they trust their own dreams on the children, their own expectation on the children. Whereas I feel it's very important that you let you have done no son, like you have done no big deal in giving birth to a child. You wanted the child, so why don't you want the child to be happy now? Because the child has its own spirit and own soul and own dreams. Why do you want to kill their dreams and trust them upon your dreams and your expectations? If you really love them, you should let them be. You can guide them, but don't put pressure on them. Same thing I feel with the dancing career also. There's good money, Gara. If you really work hard and sensibly, there's good money. But people are not ready to wait. They are going to give 10 years to become a doctor and then earn. But they're not ready to give at least extra 5 years after your academic, 12 years plus 5 years, and start earning as an artist. There is money, but you have to be patient. You have to be a smart to earn that money. But because this doesn't have a structural progressive standard or growth, so people are scared. And if you're scared, then you cannot help it. Then you have to live a life of a head in a crowd. you know. And if you're able to take that risk, then only you can be somebody who is above the ocean, of heads. How did you manage your finance, being in India and then putting up this company, the performances, and your performances are larger than life and huge, the lighting, the designing, the costumes, and everything? How do you manage to do that?
I feel early on, because I was raised by a single mother myself, and we were definitely it was financially pretty tough growing up. For many years it was like, okay, we thank God we had the support of the community, when I was younger. But when I was younger, early on, I made the thing of like, okay, I definitely don't want to be a starving artist. I don't feel like just because I'm an artist, I'm going to be poor. There's like this correlation of like, because I'm an artist, I'm going to be struggling. So early on, I removed that fake belief that society tells us, and I think that that's a fake belief to get us into like the corporate world. Elon Musk says that salary is the drug that they give you to kill your dreams. And I'm just like, wow, it's like such a powerful thing of like, here, come to this office every single day, take this drug of security of this salary, and then live your life doing something that is not your purpose. So for me, early on, I knew that for sure that's not for me. And I didn't want to struggle. So I know a lot of like, there's two kind of paths. Do I want to make money or do I want to struggle? And so I chose the money path early on when I was creating Natya Nectar, because I was like, I also had all of a sudden the responsibility of all these performers with me that were coming to me with these stories of like, I need to feed my family. I'm the sole provider of my family. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I need to start really like pumping things up. And so I went door to door by myself with our little videos of us in the park and like, this is what we're capable of. And I went to all the event companies in the city. And I was like, this is what I'm doing. I know I'm incredible. And I didn't have any professional videographer, or I think that's a big thing too, of like waiting till when you have all the resources to start marketing yourself. But I didn't have all of those things. I was just very confident in what I was delivering. And so I went to all the event companies. And finally, my first event was actually with Tarun Tiliani. He's a fashion designer. So he was like, okay, here, I want you to come and choreograph these artists for my fashion show. And I was like, wow, that is so awesome. Because for me, I was already a fan. He's like the emperor of fashion, you know, he's on his own league. And so I choreographed this Kathak piece with Chow performers, and we were on this ramp, you know, so it's like an interesting kind of choreography. So that was my first introduction into like the world of like fashion. And from that, because there were so many people in the audience, like, and Tarun had put his stamp of approval on me, from that I got a lot of other opportunities. And then I started to perform for all the big fashion designers, and I started to just do solo, and I really started to make it in the fashion world. So that's kind of how I started out as performing, taking Kathak, something that is like not in that world yet, you know, and bridging that gap of like, okay, well, this classical art can be shared in any setting, and it's still cool and contemporary and large and fills the stage. So I did that, and then I started to go create in the corporate world, and then I started to create in the Indian weddings. And that was a big one, because a lot of classical artists that I would want to come and collaborate with me would be like, oh, we don't perform at weddings, because weddings is a very looked down upon, frowned upon thing. And I'm just like, wow, the weddings for me is something where I get such incredible production level of like my new piece. I have like a performer up on, it's called the Forest of Love, and there's like 40 performers, international performers from all over the world. There's like flying fairies, floating stages, and like, you know, performers that are singing on 40 feet in the air with like a long gown. And unfortunately, there's like this bad taste in people's mouths of weddings, you know? And I can see that, because people aren't sitting, they're drinking while they're watching. So I can see how, like, okay, my art is not being 100% respected in that. But I feel like that's an important thing, is to not shut ourselves off so quickly when Lakshmi is knocking at the door. Like, as an artist, if Lakshmi is knocking on the door in the form of a wedding, in the form of a corporate, in the form of this, why am I shutting my door just because I have this preconceived notion of this is bad, or this is something that people don't respect? So I didn't have any of those things. I was like, Lakshmi was coming in from all these different areas, and I was like, yes to everything. And I still am that today. I still am. When I see something comes to me, it's coming to me from the field, for a reason. So then I started to perform all over the world. You know, I've done performances in Tokyo and Italy and Spain and Portugal, and just all these different places, of, because I have the mind of whatever is coming to me, we'll share. We have such a beautiful gift to share, and not to nectar, and these sacred art forms, that whatever comes to me, we'll share. And I've had so many people come to me. I just did this huge wedding in Hyderabad, and we put Bharatanatyam there. And then we had aerial, and we had these acrobats flipping over the Bharatanatyam dancers into the audience. And the people that came, they were literally had their hands on their heart like this. Like, I've never seen Bharatanatyam shared that way before. Thank you so much for coming and for sharing our culture in this way. So I think, as an artist, we get very limited about what people are going to think about us. that we don't even try. So it's like from the beginning, like people are saying, you're crazy, you're this and that. And I think that that was actually a gift for me to not allow all of the words to penetrate, but just to watch them. And now it's like I've learned the art of not really like seeing that as something that's going to guide me in the way, like from very first, from the doctor saying that you're not going to be able to dance, I didn't let him carve my destiny. So why would I allow these outside sources to come in? And I think a lot of the times the artists continue to struggle is because they continue to allow the judgment of others
Others.
to kind of like forge their path, you know? If there's
Yeah.
these performances and these things coming in, even if society frowns upon it, who cares? You're doing your thing, you're making money, you're sharing, you're getting other contacts, you're growing as an artist. Why care what that person is going to do? Are you going to allow them to guide your career? And I think that that's something that kind of happens in our industry a little
Yeah.
bit more, that I think God came in a little early on and didn't allow for that. So I think that that's the bridge that I was able to do with finances. And even now, there's still, I'm not saying I'm financially free. Even now, I'm like, a lot of the times I don't have gigs flowing in, and I'm like, okay, Lord, how are we going to do this? Let's power through. But they come, you know, they come and they trust. You trust and you trust, and it will come through. But I'm not saying that once you make the decision, it's all, there's no challenges that come. They for sure they come. But it's about like having faith, and then persevering, and always going out and sharing your art. I think that's the big one too, is like going door to door, talking to people about what you do, sharing about what you do, to kind of like make sure that you're getting out there.
Lovely said. And I must say that learning anything has no age, because I was also very much of the same mindset, weddings, no, no, this place, no, no, I can't do. But recently Shinjini Kulkarni also said something you are saying. So I think this is opening up my mind also, you know that yes, although money has been very good to me, because I do have my acumenship in a little business acumenship. So
Mm.
money has never been a trouble for me. But yes, to open up to other events is also a blockage that I had, and now I'm slowly, diluting it.
Mm-hmm.
So talking to you, talking to Shinjini has helped me to grow certain steps ahead, and there's no age to progress and to learn. And already I'm hearing I want to go to one of these weddings, where you have been working, because I want to see that what you are
I
doing
want
and
to
how
come.
you
You'll be my guest of honor. Please come.
yeah, I would love to see that and enjoy, because I love watching. You know, there's so much pleasure in watching other artists,
Mm-hmm.
and to get inspired. And I do. It's not that what you are doing, I want to do. No, that's your language. My language is different, but I want to enjoy your language too.
Mm-hmm.
That is the greed that I have in myself. You know, I like to watch people, I like to watch their art, their craft, their journey, their life, because everything is different. Everybody has a different journey, different life, and that's what is very interesting for me. And here Sangeeta says, I love what you did for the Kolkata wedding. So she's already been to the Kolkata wedding which you have choreographed, and I am inviting myself self invitation
Great, great. I already told
whichever.
Sangeeta she's on the team for sure.
Lovely.
Yeah, we'll make a
Amazing.
team of all women, all powerful women.
Yes.
Yeah,
It would be so amazing. How
yeah.
did you find love again?
Um, I feel like I found myself again. There was a when I was in a relationship for 10 years, And because I was raised with the culture, I felt like being in a relationship is in service of the masculine and in service of this person, and I put myself on the side and I become very domesticated. And I'm like you, I love cooking. It's a passion of mine as well. But when it comes to the thing of like I'm only doing that and I'm only doing these things, I felt like to a point I lost myself. So I came to a place of finding myself. And when I found myself in Nacho Nectar, actually our relationship went like that because I became
Ah,
confident. I was getting respect. I was getting, a lot of admiration. And that was something that it just couldn't hang in the relationship. So it went like that. And then for 3 years, I was by myself, I was just meditating, going into myself, working on my traumas, letting go, and just really deeply understanding what it is that I want in a partner. I think that we tend to settle for what's there because we're fearful that we're going to be lonely or these things like that. And so I was like, I don't mind being lonely right now. I actually want to be alone. I want to get in touch with myself. And so I moved from Delhi to Goa with a
wow.
really dear friend of mine and our dogs. We came on the train and moved all of our stuff to Goa, and I started fresh. I think that that's a big thing of like when you're not and no longer in a partnership, the starting fresh. So it was like a new canvas that I could paint my picture however I wanted to. And I started to reconnect with my best friend, Vasu. He's my best friend of 15 years, and he's in America, and I was in Goa. And we just started talking. We just started talking from the heart and going deep and like connecting on a totally deep level. And I went to Vrindavan and I went to the Kaityaini Mandir there. And I asked Kaityaini ji because the gopis went to ask her for Krishna as their husband. So I was like, Kaityaini ji, please bring in my spiritual warrior. I'm ready now for my life partner to come in. And the pujari came and he gave me this red kumkum, and he just gave it to me, and I was like, he didn't tell me anything, he just handed it to me, and I was like, okay, that was a sign from Devi. And so every day I started to do the red kumkum and the prayer of like, I'm ready to call in my spiritual warrior.
Wow.
And without me knowing, Basu was also doing a prayer to the field saying that he was also ready, and we were speaking daily. And our conversation started to get like so deep that I found myself falling in love with him. And
Wow.
so I did this prayer for 1 month, and then I put the kumkum back on my altar. And that day that I decided not to do the prayer anymore, he said, I'm in love with you
Oh,
and I want
wow.
to be your life partner. And it was just such a beautiful, like natural connection of like surrendering to God and allowing God to bring in your soul partner versus like
Wow.
the looking or the dating or all of that. But like I was like, I surrender and I trust you that you'll bring in my spiritual partner. And so
Wow.
then we were long distance for like a good 2 years. And then he came to Goa and COVID happened. And so we were in lockdown together all of a sudden, like in lockdown with my
God
family.
manifested it.
Oh my God, I know. And now I'm half of the year in LA, and then he comes with me half of the year in India. And yeah, it's really,
It's
really
beautiful.
beautiful. Yeah. And I
Oh,
feel
it's
like
beautiful.
when you really find that strong masculine as powerful like independent women, I've been able to lean more into my femininity, more into my softness and my grace and that nurturing of myself, like going into the slow, because I don't need to over compensate or overprotect anymore. It's like I've called in that protector, I've called in that man that I can like lean on his shoulder. And so I've noticed like a very significant transformation within myself and calling in that balanced partner. There is the yin and the yang for a
Yes.
reason. So then we can also find that alignment within ourselves.
Beautiful. This is so nicely manifested by you and Vasu, whom I got to meet.
Yeah, I'm
And
so happy you got to meet him. That's so wonderful.
yeah, and
Yeah,
how God also manifested for you both so beautifully. And here we have
totally.
Piyush Chauhan. Piyush Chauhan, Gauri has mentioned you so many times in this show. Late, but doesn't matter. You're here at last. Wow, he says, wow, it's so good to see you both in one frame. The two super hard and smart working women.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Piyush. Piyush is like my brother as well. He's had such an, he used to come to my house in GK2 and train me. He was like really, really strict with me because that's when I was transitioning into more Jaipur Gharana with technique and everything. So Piyush definitely lives in my heart and also in my form. I'm very, very grateful for him.
I am also, I really like his company and as a dance partner because he's a wonderful dancer, but he's a wonderful human being.
Totally.
Uh, this Maharaj, I didn't know I was unwell and I had fever. And at a certain point of time, he looks at me and he says, Didi, piche chalo, let's go back. He just takes my hand and takes me backstage where the other girls and boys are doing the Sufi. And he says, stay here, calm, slow. And I am the, one who's reckless to go in front and take my spins. And he's like, no, go slow, Didi, go slow.
Mm,
And I think he has been such a big support on that day. And that time you understand how your dance partner can be there for you and take care of you, and also take the dance or the production to a next level, higher level.
yeah.
And then the next day I realized that I was hospitalized and I was dancing on pneumonia. And but I didn't cough, surprisingly, For that
Wow.
90 minutes, I did not cough one bit, although I had 101 fever. And I think that support from him was so very much needed. And I thank him again and again for that, for being the lovely human being. For me, Gauri, what is important is I don't need a super dancer and a super something. I need somebody to be very human.
Totally. I totally agree. Even in the larger productions that I do, the one bad egg can really infiltrate the energy of everyone. So now it's like the artist, the skill of the artist is second. The first for
Yes.
me always in collaboration is the human being. And
Yes.
it's so incredible because Piyush is such an incredible artist. Like, wow, exquisite artist, but the human that he immediately is a team player. He immediately makes everyone laugh. He immediately includes himself and everyone. Like we did a project in London together, and he was there was the good and evil, and he was the like the Kali energy, like the evil energy, and he was like, even in that, finding humor in everything and coaching the other artists, because the other artist is also, him, Sohail Ban. He's a very
Oh,
soft
yes.
person. So he was
Yes.
supposed to win on stage in this battle, and it's already Piyush's like this powerful energy. So even in the collaboration, he allowed himself to mold into this thing where he allowed for this person who's actually a softer personality to defeat him in the battle on the stage. So I just I find that that's the full rounded artist. Like even Maharajji, I remember so many years when I was speaking to him, and he was maybe in his 80s at this time, but he said that I'm still a student, you know? I'm still a student, and here we are, like Maharajji, like everything he does, everyone's like, wow, wow, you know, like even he brings his hand up and everyone's like, wow. But like
Wow.
for him to say that I'm still a student, for me, really stuck with me of like, wow, that is a full artist, somebody
Yes.
who has mastered this skill, and yet they're still like yearning to learn. They're still a sponge, you know, learning. And I think that that really brings the humility to the artist when you can operate from that place.
Yes, and I remember that that's the quality of an artist, like you mentioned, Piyush, that to take the production to a level like Sohair is a softer body, and Piyush has a much more masculine,
Mm-hmm.
body line and the language of dance. But for the sake of the production, to be able to humbly, use yourself, I think that's one of a very a quality of a generous artist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I feel about Piyush. He never tries to overdo things to show his stardom. No, a star is always a star. You don't have to show it off. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the grace of an artist. And yes, definitely. And he can really joke. I remember I had just had my open cut surgery from my cancer, and he came to the hospital, and he's making jokes, and he's making everybody laugh to lighten up the environment.
That's
Gauri
so
is there, my
sweet.
sister, and I'm like, I have a foot full stitches and staples on my stitches. I'm like, you stop! It is paining. It is paining. But I couldn't stop laughing at his jokes, and he
Wow.
made the environment so light. So I think that's what I'm looking for in the artists. That are the good people. Can I enjoy my life with them?
Me
Then it
too.
is very,
And they
very.
have to understand humor. That's a big one too, because humor for me is like, it's like any great master always has a wonderful sense of humor as well,
Yes,
because we can't take ourselves so seriously. You know, like it's fun to just laugh at ourselves and find a team of
yes,
other artists that can also laugh at themselves as well. You know, it's like, what's life if you're not having a good time, and just being able to, like, the medicine for me is always in the laughter.
yes, absolutely agreed. And saying this is beautiful, touch wood. May you both keep finding happiness, love, and peace in each other. Oh, that's so
That's so
sweet.
nice.
That's
Thank
so
you.
nice. Okay, Gauri, now I have some rapid fires for you, so you have to give some quick answers to me.
Okay.
Your favorite color,
Green.
your favorite day or time of the day.
Sunset.
What is your favorite drink?
Chai. Masala chai.
Really? Okay, who's your favorite
I always
hero?
say yes to chai, even if I've already had one.
Come home, I'll give you a nice good cup of
I'm
ginger
looking
tea.
forward to it. We're gonna
Favorite hero?
Arjun from the Mahabharata.
Okay, that we go spiritual there. And the actress or the heroine?
Kajal.
Oh, lovely. We meet over there. What's your favorite movie?
God, I don't know my favorite movie. I love Avatar. I love Avatar. That would
Which
be my favorite
was
one that just comes to mind.
okay. What's your whom would you like to take on in a deserted island, and with what?
I would like to take Vasu on a deserted island. With what? Food.
And your favorite car now?
My favorite card. I love the Mercedes G Wagon.
Wow. And your favorite holiday destination?
I love Italy.
You love it. It's beautiful. It's
So
beautiful.
beautiful. Yeah,
I love the Venice.
the Amalfi Coast, like just like the serene, the turquoise waters. It's so stunning. And the
It's
people, I really love the Italian culture too.
Okay. Okay. So in India, what would be your favorite destination?
I love Rajasthan, obviously. I feel like Rajasthan is like the heart of India, the bright colors, the culture, the musicians, the artists. It's like in the blood there, you know? Like the singers, wow, the singers that I've experienced there, they like wail out and call out to God, like literally just like brings tears to my eyes. So, and I love all the jewelry, like the chunky, you know, that really tribal jewelry. I love the women on the street adorning themselves. They all look like stunning, like, you know, princesses. So I think I like Rajasthan because it takes me back in time of like royal India.
Wow, lovely. Can you speak to me for at least 10 seconds completely हिंदी? क्या आप मेरे साथ हिंदी में बात कर सकती हैं? आप इतने सालों से हमारे भारत देश में हैं। मैं जानती हूँ आपका हृदय भारतीय है। क्या आप थोड़ी देर हिंदी में हमसे बात कर सकती है?
हाँ, मैं बहुत खुश हूँ आपके साथ है ये what should I say? Uh,
वार्तालाप,
huh?
वार्तालाप,
But
बातचीत।
yeah, I wanted to say, how do you say soul sister?
आ, ये तो मुझे भी सोचना पड़ेगा। आत्मा से जुड़ी आत्मातिक बहन, आत्मातिक बहन।
Atmatic Ben, that's very शुद्ध हिंदी.
Yeah.
Atmatic Ben.
हाँ, so sweet. When it comes out of your, mouth, it is like so flowing and so cute you look.
Yeah.
Kind.
I definitely feel with you. I've met a soul sister, so I'm very grateful for this conversation and with the woman who you are and what you represent. Like I know you've been through such a challenging complete shift in your being, but something has happened, transpired in that, where you've been given this gift to really ignite the light within everyone that you meet. And so I'm just so blessed and honored to share this time with you, because I really feel like you've been given this gift. You've been given um, this new chance at life, and I want to see you and honor you and everything that you've gone through to be here today. And that I see you shining. I see you holding love. I see you being from your heart. And I'm just so grateful for you on the planet. We really need more people like you on the planet. So thank you for hearing the call. We both heard the call to be here today and share from our hearts. So I really honor you in everything that you are and everything you represent.
I must tell you, Gauri, that I'm thankful to the whole universe, to God, to all of you, to
Mm-hmm.
all of you who has prayed for me so selflessly. I feel like a blessed child of God, that to get so much of abundance love from people who know me personally, from people who know me as an artist, from people who don't know me,
Mm-hmm.
from people of social media, from friends of social media, from the friends of fraternity. I am humbled that people are so good. They pray for others. They wish good to others. It's a beautiful universe. It's a beautiful world. Why are we burning? Why are we so much in depression and sorrow? Enjoy this moment. Enjoy what you have. Enjoy this life that you got gifted you.
Mm.
I'm humbled after this disease. I used to question, why me? Why me? What have I done wrong? And then I got my answer that me, because maybe I had the strength to take it, and also that sometimes I felt God questioned me, then whom do you want me to infect it with? And I was thinking, like, my parents know, my son know, my students know, my friends know, anybody in this world, I could say, not me, but that person, no, I couldn't point out at anybody.
Mm.
So maybe, God thought I had that energy and power to take that disease, get free of it, and speak about it and tell people that it is not so deadly. You have to, it's your choice what you make. You make the choice of life, or you make the choice of cancer.
Wow.
So I chose life. I chose life for every day. People said, "Are you crazy? You're dancing with chemotherapy, you're dancing in the morning." I said, "No, I choose life. God will see that I live."
Mm-hmm. That's so powerful.
And somewhere when you told me that at Sanjukta's wedding that you were praying for me, I was like, I'm getting prayers from here also.
Mm-hmm.
How much did you know me?
Mm-hmm.
Very little, very little.
Mm-hmm.
How much did I know you? Very little. But your prayer means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you so much for praying for me, for praying for my wellness. And I'm indebted to you for life.
Mm. No debts required. You living, you being here today is the answer to all the prayers. And it's really the what you said of all the love and all of these people around the world and your community coming together. It's really instills faith again in humanity. What are we capable of, and how can we continue to show up like that for each other, you know?
Yes. And somewhere I feel we both are from different parts of this world, of this universe, but somewhere we meet,
Mm-hmm.
you know, somewhere we psychologically meet. We meet spiritually.
Yeah.
Somewhere our chakras are aligned.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it very beautiful.
Yeah, it does. And it's really like imbibing the living each day like it's your last. I feel like you really embody that and imbibe that, and I feel like I learned that from you. Of like, okay, if I'm lying down on the pillow tonight and this is my last day, did I give it my everything?
Did I celebrate life?
Mm-hmm. Did I tell all the people that I love them today? Did I
Yes.
share a random act of kindness with a stranger today? Did I show up in service? And a lot of the times when I ask myself that question, it has nothing to do with what I'm doing, but how am I showing up in service more?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that has been lovely and emotional one also at the end,
Mm.
because somewhere we are very heart touching. Thanks, Gauri. We need to do this one more time. And thanks for getting me back,
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I'm done, no more. But you inspired me to get back to the talk shows, and I
Yes, I love
people
it.
love it also. So many people have been telling me, please get back, oops, please get back, oops. I was like, no, 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 enough is done, and I'm not enjoying it. But somehow you talking to you, I was like, okay, I should come back, and let me come back with Gauri. So
Yeah.
thank you for again inspiring me
You're
to come
welcome.
back and talk, and so openly you share your journey with us. Thank
Mm.
you.
You're welcome. You came to me actually in my meditation that morning that I messaged you. You came to me and I was like, wow, I really want to connect with her and share our stories online. So next time we'll go more into your journey because I feel like
Yes.
it's very powerful to continuously to share from the heart. That one little drop of wisdom that can, we can have the ripple effect. it's
Yes.
it's it's everything, and it's I feel like why we go through these challenging times. It's like what you're saying, that you could be here and share with others.
Yes, because conversations are catalyst to a positive change.
Yes, I love that. Yes.
So, a very good night from the Indian side and a very good morning from your side. And
Love, lots of
thank you
love.
so much, and God bless you with more energies, more ideas, more dream, and lot more money, money, money.
That's
Yes, money, money,
right. Make
money.
it rain. Lakshmi Maharani ki
Yes, it's important. Saraswati and Lakshmi go together,
Yes,
together,
they do. Yes, they
together.
do.
Thank you so much, Gary. We need to catch up again on another session and we will continue our conversation. So,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you, Jeho.
Good night.
Good morning and good night to you.
Good morning and good night. So that was Gauri Devi Riggan, and we had a lovely conversation. And it's been almost 95 minutes, and we did not even come to know that's been so long, but it has been so engaging and so inspiring to talk to her. And thanks to her again for getting me back in front of this screen and to share our lives with all of you. And you will find somebody or the other inspiring you. So keep your hearts open, keep your mind open, and just have a good chat. Good night.